The Dolphins are a game back of the division right now. Patriots are falling off right now. The wheels turning. They're in
Well, Drake
May
made it.
time.
He had his debut.
Yeah,
He had his moments.
terrible.
He had his
He didn't look
moments.
terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
Against a
they're
good
already
team.
too far back for them to really climb with the way the remainder of the schedule looks and all that.
Yeah.
Division games against us and the rest of the division, I just don't see how at this point they could stay in it. So it's a three-way race, in my opinion, for the division.
Yeah.
Bills obviously are still the favorite at this point, but Bills are coming off 2 losses in a row. Jets are coming off 2 losses in a row. What's kind of the expectation now with a lot of football left, obviously, but no Saleh now at the head coaching position, and the Bills look very vulnerable on the offensive side where they're struggling to put up points right now. What do you think is kind of this trifecta that we have between the three of us, right? Because it looks a little bit more optimistic on our side right now, considering Tua should be coming back in the next 2 weeks.
Here's my thing, and maybe this is a hot take. I don't know. I actually don't think it's a 3-man race. I only think it's a 2-man race. I think the Jets suck.
What is going on, everybody? We are back for another Tranquilo Sports episode, and we are at the Bodega in Coral Gables, where we will be hosting.
We drove here.
Yeah. We are not in the backyard. We are not in Vic Garcia's studio. We are actually at Bodega in Coral Gables, where we'll be hosting a watch party this Sunday for the FINS Colts game. And it's going to be a hell of a turnout, I think, this weekend.
It's going to be awesome. If you can visit, we'll probably put link in this description, find it on Instagram, link in the bio, on Twitter, you'll see it too. But go RSVP, come by. We got a lot of deals going on throughout the entire day.
Yes.
I'm going to read some off so I don't mess them up. We got 50% off Wells and Drafts, $5 shots and drinks. If you RSVP, you get a beer or choice of draft margarita or beer as a welcome drink, complimentary. And then if you reserve a table for $50, it goes to your bar tab. And then you also get that's the pitcher. Or I guess, sorry,
I think it's included.
Yeah, it's included.
It's
just come by. Let's have some fun.
There's gonna be deals and drinks and good times.
Good times,
and
good
hopefully
vibes,
a FINS dub.
And hopefully a FINS dub. Good food, good drinks. So it's gonna be awesome. So hope to see you guys there, and it's gonna be an awesome week. So hope to be back.
We're coming off a bye this week. Yes. It was a nice, stressful weekend, or stress-free weekend.
Yeah, stressless.
No stress this weekend. Yeah. We
the margaritas are hitting already.
Already a couple sips in. And, we got what can be hypothetically a winnable game this weekend.
Yeah.
We saw a win last weekend with Huntley, finally,
Yes.
And we saw a little bit of a rhythm with the offense at some points.
Yes.
Then
it took
a disaster with the special teams in that game.
Yes.
So you're hoping that we can put the pieces together of everything that's kind of been a problem the last couple of weeks and play somewhat of a clean game going this week.
Yeah. The biggest thing for this week, like you mentioned, the special teams things, that needs to get fixed. You usually don't win games. We're lucky we were playing the Pats that week, which the ending of that game was already, my heart was out of my chest.
Right. I forgot about that.
But nonetheless, we were able to pull it through, which was huge for us to kind of get us back on the right track. And the key is, like, if we can win this game, we, like, on the episode that we had with Josh, the key was to get to 2-2, right? Ideally, I would have loved 4-0, of course. But 2-2, we are still in a very good spot, especially because we've had some help with the Bills losing back-to-back, the Jets losing back-to-back. So we're still right there, and with Tua coming back right around the corner. So if we can, get a huge win on the road, steal one, and get us to 3-3, I think we're in a good spot.
Exactly the spot that we said that we were okay with.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's first. The only thing that really worries me, outside of the fact that we haven't really seen the full display of like any sort of like groove, right? Tyler Huntley has improved week over week, right? We had a bye week, so you're hoping you guys are ready, rested, ready to go. I think it was a good time for a bye week in terms of kind of all the crazy stuff that's happened this year. But the injuries on the defense worry me a little bit. Obviously, Vaughn's probably out this week. I don't know the status of Poyer. Don't know the status of, well, obviously Phillips is out, and there's a few other guys that are a little banged up. So hopefully the bye week kind of brings some of those guys back, and then much needed rest. So I think Mike's been having this game plan for this game now for over a week and a half, 2 weeks. So I'm expecting, I'm expecting a dub, to be honest with you. I'm more hopeful for a dub, but I think we can do it. The team's, obviously we know how good this team can be.
Yep.
Now we just need, Mike to kind of bring us home this week. And I thought I've had a lot of criticism with him this whole entire year. I think the Pats game was his best game plan in terms of adjustments, and we had the running game going finally right. Looks awesome. Speaking of injuries, I forgot about Achane. I hope he's back this week too. But Mostert was huge in his return. Like, we need to rely on the run and then get Huntley to feel more comfortable. It'll open up the passing game against a Colts team that is also pretty banged up, right? We don't even know who's going to be their quarterback. I don't know if Jonathan Taylor's even playing this week. So,
true.
It's a game of two teams that both need a win and both are a little bit banged up. So, it'll be interesting, and hopefully we're the ones to come out on top, because that would be huge for us. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the big thing is the running game.
Yeah.
We have the talent there. We've seen it. Yeah, even when Achane went down, Jalen Wright came in and was a hooper.
Awesome.
I think he averaged like 7 yards a carry in that game. Like, it was unreal. And we knew we look at those signings early in the year in the draft, free agency and all that. Jalen Wright was a big pickup. We here we are.
Speed.
Well, and Achane goes down, and it's like, who would you have relied on, right? Jalen Wright came in, was a great weapon for us on that offense, and I think they got to keep using him, even if Achane comes back. He's got to be a part of that offense.
All three.
The few times we've seen him this year, he's been very good, and I think you got to take advantage of that, take some of the pressure off of Huntley, and really leverage the running game to your advantage and put together long drives, right? That was something they were talking about even before Tua got hurt, was sustaining long drives. It wasn't just go for the home run play every time. Defenses have been taking away that all year so far, right? Reed is not getting open on some of these deep routes. Waddle's getting, covered on the middle of the field. So what do you do to adjust? Run the ball.
And that's going to hopefully open it up for those, right?
Exactly.
Like, you keep running it, they're going to have to play
Press,
up, and then that's where you kind of kill them. It's kind of what we did more last year, because obviously we had, a great running game with Mostert, Achane.
Right.
Like, now we need to get back to that, so it opens up the rest of the field, and then obviously Huntley hopefully gets more comfortable, and he can hit some big plays.
Yeah.
So those would be huge. Like, I need another Reek bomb. And I need a Waddle touchdown. Like, I need to be waddling at Bodega.
We need a little bit of a spark for sure.
The
offense has definitely been struggling. We know that.
Yeah.
I think we could have put up a lot more points, obviously, considering some of the mishaps with some of the snaps that happened, the missed field goals, holds, everything,
Bad.
So we had positions to score, and I think, this week we should have positions to score as well. The Colts are not a powerhouse of a team by any stretch of the imagination.
It's winnable.
So it is a winnable game. It's gonna come back down to the defense again, and I think, I don't think Vaughn will play this week. So, you'll be missing him. Hopefully Poyer is back, because you do not want both your safeties out, because that, we've seen the vulnerability there, and that's just the reality of when you're missing both your starters on there. And then I don't know, Kendall Fuller's
another one that left that game. So like, our DBs are a bit hurt right now. we would need. I would love for Fuller. Hopefully the bye week was exactly what he needed
Yeah.
to come back. Same with Poyer. Vaughn looks like he's going to be out a couple weeks, but you've got, we're going up against a very good offensive line, probably one of the best in the league. So we're going to need guys like Sealer to continue. Sealer, Calais Campbell are right now the MVPs of the season.
Oh my God, 100%.
They are killing defenses. They are keeping us, like, almost not single-handedly, but they're keeping us in a lot of these games because of the
1000%.
pressure that we're putting.
Yep.
We're going up against a very good offensive line, so we're going to need to keep putting that pressure on.
Chop could be a chop game.
Yeah, Chop needs that breakout. Like Chop,
he's getting the pressures, but it's not translating into those sacks.
So, yeah. But yeah, I think that's the key. And then obviously our linebackers are going to have to do probably a little bit more in terms of that. So, I think it's, again, like you mentioned, a very winnable game. And now it's just we need to get the job done because it would be so
great.
huge.
It would be great.
Like we've had so much help, and especially we're recording this on a Monday. We don't know what's going to happen with the Bills-Jets. But let's say the Jets do pull that off. Like we are in, that would be an even
let's
scenario,
get into that game a little bit later
exactly,
because I do want to talk about that game. Robert Saleh got fired, so let's talk. Let's talk a little bit more about that. But before we get into that, one question: would you rather Anthony Richardson at quarterback or Joe Flacco at quarterback?
Honestly, probably. It's so tough because I would honestly say I'm leaning toward Anthony Richardson, but he's so dynamic that if we don't put enough pressure on him, he can kind of run all over us, which I also don't want. Joe Flacco isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
But Flacco just seems to
Flacco just looks good right now, man.
Winning like the last couple of years. He's a super
game-winning drive. He's putting up good numbers. He's efficient. He doesn't turn the ball over. I think in a game like this, I personally would want Richardson just because he's maybe more prone to a mistake.
I agree.
Where Flacco won't. But you have a good point too. The athleticism that comes with Anthony Richardson, the arm that he has. No worries.
Pardon the interruption.
No, it's okay. Anthony Richardson obviously is a way more athletic quarterback than the two. So, but personally, I would want him there.
Flacco is.
The Colts look like a better team with Flacco right now.
You even go back to last year when he was the quarterback of
the Browns.
The Browns, yeah. Like they were just that much better with him. Like he's a super sub.
Yeah.
And he is, he's playing super well. And I agree. It's just like, I don't know, like on paper, it's like, oh my God.
I get it.
The old guy or the young, athletic guy, you would probably lean this guy, but he's torching everybody. So I don't know. So
we'll see. I mean, we don't know who will start there. I know Anthony Richardson has a chance to play this weekend.
Yeah.
And like you said, Jonathan Taylor. So it'll be a good matchup. Right now, we're 3.5-point dogs on the road.
Love that.
So, I think hopefully this team comes off the bye ready to play and enthusiastic and energetic. And we, like you said, we can win. We're in a good spot. So let's talk
score prediction.
Oh, score prediction. True. Good move. Let me see. I mean, offense has been struggling.
I know.
So it's hard for me to think like we're going to go out there and put up points.
7-3.
I hope not. For the sake of I think we even get like a drink special for every time we score a touchdown. I think. So hopefully we score a few touchdowns. I'm gonna say. Oh man. I think it's gonna be a close game. I'm projecting like a 23-20, 23-17 type of game.
That's where I was saying. I was thinking like a 24-21, 24-17.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with 24-0.
We need to force some turnovers. That's what
I know we do.
We need to force some turnovers, man.
Apply pressure and force turnovers.
Yes.
God.
I don't know what our turnover margin is right now, but
it can't be good.
It can't be that good.
We don't have I'm trying to even think of any turnovers.
I mean, we had the Vaughn punch out in week one.
And then
I don't know if we have an interception this year.
I don't think we do. Oh, we do. We have the
Agba picked one off in Tennessee game. I don't know. There's not many.
Can't be good.
There's not that many. So let's see. I do think close game and on top.
All right, I love it.
So let's talk NFL, but let's start with this Bills Jets game, right? Obviously by the time you watch this, the game will be over, so we won't talk too much about tonight. But Saleh got fired from the last time we recorded, which was crazy, super unexpected. And like you said, the Dolphins are a game back of the division right now. Patriots are falling off right now. The wheels turning. They're Drake May time.
He had his debut.
Yeah,
he had his moments.
terrible.
He had his
He didn't
moments.
look terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're already too far back for them to really climb with the way the remainder of the schedule looks and all that.
Yeah.
Division games against us and the rest of the division, I just don't see how at this point they could stay in it. So it's a three-way race in my opinion for the division.
Yeah.
Bills obviously are still the favorite at this point, but Bills are coming off 2 losses in a row. Jets are coming off 2 losses in a row. What's kind of the expectation now with a lot of football left, obviously, but no Saleh now at the head coaching position, and the Bills look very vulnerable on the offensive side where they're struggling to put up points right now. What do you think is kind of this trifecta that we have between the three of us, right? Because it looks a little bit more optimistic on our side right now, considering Tua should be coming back in the next 2 weeks.
Here's my thing, and maybe this is a hot take. I don't know. I actually don't think it's a 3-man race. I only think it's a 2-man race. I think the Jets suck. I think actually.
I mean, they haven't looked good.
I think the Jets suck.
Yeah.
Like, their defense is legit. I'll give them that. Their defense is good. I think they stink. Like, Aaron Rodgers, I love Rodgers. Like, Rodgers is one of the best to do it. I love, like, he's awesome. He's not as dangerous, obviously, as he used to be. He's coming off also a massive injury, and you can see it.
Yeah, he doesn't look
the same. And then their offense, like, they got Garrett Wilson, they got Breece Hall, they've got weapons, but, like, they don't look good. Like, maybe it changes now, but I blame Nathaniel. As long as Nathaniel Hackett's there, I'm not scared
He's
of the
not
Jets,
the play caller anymore, though.
Scared of the Jets now. No, but seriously, I don't know. Like, I just haven't seen anything. Everyone was like, "Oh, the Jets." They're on every primetime game.
They are.
Dude, I don't think they're good. Like, I think that we can beat the Jets with Snoop Huntley. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this team is like, I think they're gonna muck up and they're gonna be in a lot of close games because of their defense. Granted, defense is legit. I don't know. They don't scare me. I think anybody can beat the Jets.
Yeah.
The Bills is a different story. While they've been struggling.
No,
the last 2 weeks, it's
100%.
against the Ravens, who look like the best team in the NFL right now, and then the Texans, who also look like the second best team in the NFL.
True.
So it's hard to gauge where they're at. Yes, one of them was a blowout. The other one was just honestly a stupid play calling by McDermott.
Yeah.
Throwing 3 straight times on the goal, like on the opposite goal line.
Yeah.
Like the Bills are still the threat. The threat. They're still the big dog of the AFC East until we can beat them. So they are the only team that I think is really in our way. I don't know why. I'm just like, the Jets just don't do it for me. Like, I haven't seen enough from the Jets for me to believe that they are actually a threat. Yes, can they win games, obviously, but like,
their defense will always keep them in a game.
8-9, or the Jets going 6-11 and 10, or whatever the friggin' thing is, wouldn't shock me. Like, it just doesn't, because their defense will keep them in games, but they haven't been winning games.
Well, you look at both teams' kind of upcoming games, right?
Yeah.
The narrative, to your point, becomes very accurate, right? Because you look at the Jets stretch. Obviously, they got Bills tonight. We'll see what happens there. But they got the Steelers that are playing really well. Yeah, their defense is great, and Fields is doing enough to win games.
Yeah.
Then Pat's on the road. I mean, obviously anything can happen there. It's a rivalry game. You would assume they win that game. But they got the Texans, the Cardinals on the road, the Colts, the Seahawks, and then us. Like, none of those games are like, oh my God, they're gonna fly with easy colors through those games, right? So. Right there, just off that stretch alone, you're like, okay, well, what the hell are the Jets going to look like in the next 4 weeks, right? But then you look at the Bills, right? They got Titans after this Monday night game. They got the Seahawks on the road, which
that's a toss-up.
They got us. Then they got Colts, which is another hypothetical. And then they have their stretch later in the year: Chiefs, Ravens, Rams, Lions. Yeah,
we have a hard ending, but theirs is even harder than ours because they're playing the 1 seed of each of those divisions.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, listen, the Bills. It's safe to say that the Bills are not as good as they've been the past few years.
Which we knew that going into this year.
We knew that, yeah. Like, based on the guys they've lost, things like that, they are still a very good team.
Yeah.
As they've proven already in the first 5 weeks that they can still win a lot of games because they've got the second or third best quarterback in the NFL. So Josh is going to keep you in any game for the most part, and they're always going to be a threat as of now. The division is theirs until we can top them.
Absolutely.
So that's that. The Jets is one that I think we're the second best team in this division still. And then if we can get healthier, we get Tua back next week. We get some of these guys off injury. We are just as dangerous, and then it all falls on Mike to see how well he adjusts.
Right.
I still think it's a two-man race between us and the Bills until the Jets prove otherwise. So,
Yeah, I agree.
and if they win tonight, good. I'm rooting for the Jets. Like I want the Jets to win tonight.
Yeah.
Like I want them to win tonight. I just like right now I haven't seen anything from them that proves to me that they are in contention. To be honest,
Yeah.
and I guess you can say the same thing with the FINS. But at least the FINS, we have an excuse. We don't have our quarterback right now.
And we have a little bit more
none.
optimism to feed off. Right now, there's so many questions with the Jets. I mean, I am curious to see how they come out tonight, considering firing of the head coach in the big season.
And it's not only that they fired the coach, it's kind of in the manner that they did it, in terms of if all the things are true.
Right, that he got escorted out.
He's not allowed to talk to any of the players. Like that's just
that's weird.
That's not only weird, but that's the signs of a dysfunctional franchise.
Yeah.
Which the Jets have been for a while now. So I don't know, man. Until they do anything, I'm not afraid of them.
100%.
Yeah.
Bills and the Finns for the final chase. So we'll see. But this past weekend we had some really good games. We had the Ravens and Commanders game, which was awesome. a great game. Mm-hmm. You had Seahawks 49ers, which 49ers kind of took care of business there. Yeah. Who else did we have? That was a good game.
The Colts Titan was good.
Bucks Saints for a while
was crazy.
Bucks are good, man.
The Bucks. I like the Bucks. I
like the Bucks a lot. I like Baker a lot. Yeah. I think they're good. And then you have the Lions that just steamrolled.
I know
the Cowboys.
Well, I want to touch on that game too. Hutchinson injury looked really bad.
Yeah,
Hutchinson is one of the best defensive players in the league, and so they're definitely going to miss him. Like that's a big hit for them. But that team is legit loaded everywhere. That if all they need to do is bring in somebody else, which we spoke about a little bit before, that if the rumors are true, if they were to go after a guy like a Max Crosby, I mean
that team right now, the Raiders, is fair trade game. Like, they're open to.
I think they can go. I think they can get him. They would have to give up a lot, obviously, and he's worth a lot. He's one of the best defensive players in the league right now. If they can land a Max Crosby, that team is going to be that's going to be a dangerous team.
Favorite.
That's one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl. So, which is awesome for Detroit. Obviously, probably honestly, if the Dolphins don't make playoffs,
I already called
the Lions,
that's my team.
I'm rooting for the Lions all the way through. So, shout out Dan Campbell. The guy is awesome. So,
I saw the locker room yesterday. Did you see that video? Oh my god, I was gonna cry.
Dude, it's
when Jared Goff gave, because he missed the game ball to Jared Goff last week after he literally threw a perfect game, and he had no idea. Yeah. So he's like, he reads the stats, he gives him the ball, and then he gives a defensive game ball to that guy BB, who fucking he balled.
Three turnovers,
bro,
it was crazy.
Then whatever, everyone's going crazy, and then Jared Goff's like, well, I'm going to give the game ball to you, Campbell, because I know this is like your city, your team, all this stuff. And then you see like Campbell start to shed a tear. I'm like, fuck, bro.
He's probably my favorite coach. There's a few guys out there that I think.
He's like the perfect balance of like super hoorah, but also like a guy, that gets it.
He's a football guy. Like he is the definition of football guy. Mm-hmm. It's Dan Campbell. The fact that he was our head coach, interim head coach, and we could have had him.
Yeah. Crazy.
I met him once. He's a very, very nice guy.
And ginormous human.
He's a ginormous human. And so everything, like that team embodies, and like they're so close, like as a team, as a unit, and they've all bought in. Like that's kind of the ideal scenario. Like that's what you want your teams to do, and they're hard nosed. There's a theory actually. It's funny. There's a theory that every team that plays the Lions bet against them the week after because they're so banged up, and it's right now 5.
Wow,
every single one.
Interesting. So the Cowboys are basically going to lose again.
Yeah, well, it's spread or whatever, but like it's crazy. Like every single one of them hasn't covered the next week because they're so beat up because those guys just go all
they're
out.
Physical.
So
they're definitely a team that's got to be a favorite right now. Obviously, Chiefs are up there.
Yeah, they're going to be.
Texans are up there. Ravens are up there.
King Henry is, in my opinion, the MVP so far. He's insane. His numbers,
really, you have Henry at MVP right now.
I think he's the best player. They probably won't give it to him. They'll give it to a quarterback, even though he's won it before. But they'll give him Offensive Player of the Year. But if he keeps it up, because his trajectory right now, he's on pace for almost 2,000 yards and 26 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's got 704 yards right now.
Yeah, and he's scored in every single game. Like he's yet to not score, and he's scored multiple times in multiple games already. Like he is. He's insane, and not all of them are like little goal line character. Like he's breaking off monster runs at key moments. Like that offense is amazing. Lamar is amazing.
Yeah.
That duo right there is scary. I mean, they were literally an inch from beating the Chiefs, and then I don't know what happened in that Raiders game, but that was weird. Ever since then, they've looked like the best team in the NFL.
They have.
They're one definitely that's scary, and the Chiefs are obviously the Chiefs. The one that I said, so Dan Campbell's my favorite coach. I still think the best coach in the NFL, hands down, is Mike Tomlin. I mean, how Mike Tomlin continues to bring
it's crazy.
Like the defense is
insane.
Awesome. Obviously, you've got TJ Watt, who's the best defensive player in the world. Which, by the way, another side tangent is the fact that we grew up in our lives that J.J. Watt is one of the best defensive players like to play the game.
Right.
And then his little brother comes in the league and he's somehow even better than him. It's insane.
It's insanity.
Like, that's an insane family lineage right there. But the Steelers, like where Tomlin, that's another guy that everyone buys in. The Steelers culture, they're tough, they're hard-nosed. You bring in, I mean, they've still got Russ on the team, but you've got Justin Fields leading them. They're 4-2. Everyone thought after week 1, they're like, oh my God, this team is terrible.
Yep.
They picked it up 4 out of 5 wins in a row, and they are, I don't think.
I mean, they're contenders in terms of playoffs.
For sure.
They host a playoff game in Pittsburgh. They can sneak a win in the playoffs for sure.
That defense is legit enough, and they've got enough playmakers. Like they've got Justin Fields. I like Justin Fields.
Najee looks good again.
I wanted to get Justin Fields. I said it on this podcast months ago. I wanted him because of the price that they got. They paid a 6th-round pick.
Yeah, no,
I would have brought him in.
And look at that, he's been the starter. And he's been the starter.
Exactly. Like I would have brought him in for a 6th-round pick just to be Tua's backup.
Yeah,
like
that was a steal.
And now he's obviously starting. Russ started off injured. I don't know what they're gonna do with Russ, to be honest, but
he's a good backup.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a great situation to be in.
Yeah. And then they've got weapons. They got Pickens. They got Najee. They got a decent O-line that they've improved a bit. So
yeah.
He's the best coach, and the fact that he could have been the FINS coach is crazy. Yeah, like do you know that story?
I remember.
Thanks, Stephen Ross. But all good.
He's never missed the playoffs. He's had a winning record.
He's never had a losing record.
Yeah, it's crazy. Has he missed the playoffs? I know he's never had a losing record. He's missed the playoffs. Okay, but never a losing record.
He's never had a losing record.
Yeah,
which is insane.
It is impressive.
Insane. So crazy.
We're still got a lot of football left. You know, anything could really happen at this point of the season, but you could kind of start to see the turns, right?
Yeah.
You know, who's real, who's not real.
Contenders, who are the on the bubble.
And then you got the bubble teams, which we fall into that bubble right now. We fall in
the bubble team for sure.
But there's a lot of teams in that bubble right now.
We started in the contenders, and now we're in the bubble, which sucks, but as long as when Tua comes back, if he can stay healthy, I think we can get back into the contenders role. Because the team is too good. This team on paper is too good. And so, it starts on Sunday. So we need a huge win against the Colts.
Let's go. Let's get it. All right, so let's pivot to college football.
Yes, college football has been nuts the past couple of weeks.
It has been amazing, bro. It has been so entertaining.
Awesome. Yeah. It has been a lot of big games. I'm going to ignore Pooch in the back right now.
Why would we even talk about that team?
He's throwing a U's down. That's weird.
Yeah.
College football has been nuts. The slate this week.
All I'm going to say is real quick about that team.
No, stop it.
They don't even believe in them that they put 2 one-loss teams ahead of them.
Yeah, it's crazy. Listen, here's the thing with Miami. And
that's who they beat, unfortunately.
Here's the thing with Miami is that Miami is, in my opinion, if you had to do
they're not beating Texas.
If you had to put a contenders bubble and pretenders in college football, they're a bubble team. In terms of, I think that Miami's very good. I really do think this. I just think that there's really only like 4 teams, or 3 teams, honestly, that I think are gonna win it. From what I've seen, like it's crazy. Like the parity is there, but there's 3 teams to me, and I think it's Texas by far. Like looks like the best team in college football. They're playing Georgia this week, which is going to be an insane game. This will be like, all right, let's see. I mean, they've already beaten 2 ranked teams. Let's see now, top 5 team.
Right.
You've got Oregon and Ohio State, which played one of the best games this season, this weekend, which was awesome to see. Oregon, who struggled early on, like we're like, oh, pretenders, Oregon are pretenders. Oregon.
Yeah.
They've been rolling, and they've been rolling. They haven't lost yet. And they beat Ohio State, a huge game. Ohio State, I still think, is also very good.
They could have won that game for sure.
They could have won that game, and they've got a roster that, there's a lot of money in that roster. I'll just say that. So those three guys are truly for me like. And
I think Georgia obviously still is in there.
Here's the thing: it's not an on the bubble. It's different with the NFL. I'd say that's tier A,
Yeah, exactly.
right? I think there's a gap, to be honest.
There is a gap.
I don't think Georgia's even looked. Georgia's Georgia, and until like if Georgia won the national championship, I'd be like, oh, it's Georgia.
Exactly.
But they haven't looked.
No, they haven't looked
good.
dominant.
Like
no.
they obviously they lose to Bama, who Bama's looked awful the last 2 weeks. Like
I don't know what the hell's going on there. I
insane.
thought they were gonna. I thought Bama was the team to run the table.
Yeah,
in the last 2 weeks. They could have been. They could have had 2 losses right now.
Yeah, exactly. And then so like, how much does that weigh? And then Georgia struggled the last couple weeks too.
Yeah.
Like Mississippi State, they ended up kind of pulling away, but it's not like none of them
wasn't
are
like
dominant.
a convincing win. Yeah.
Like none of them are dominant, which is fine. I mean, there's been a lot of that. Miami's another team that the last 2 weeks could also have gone 0-2,
Right.
but they've pulled it out, especially the Cal one, which was crazy. But they're another team that hasn't been able to pull it out against these teams. So I don't know. Like to me, there's really 3 teams, and then Miami for me is in the B tier, which is where I put the Georgia for now, Bama. Miami. I want to put Tennessee there so bad. I'm going to put them there because they're 5-1. They're another team outside of Bama that have looked awful the last 2 weeks.
They could have lost this weekend to
So
Florida
like
too.
I don't know what's going on with them. I loved Tennessee. I have a future. I have a couple futures that are still like. Oh, I'm sorry.
Who?
I don't know if I can put them in the A tier. I actually would probably still put them in the B tier. Is Penn State is another one that's undefeated. And
they are not in the A tier.
They've looked shaky at times too. They're another one similar to Miami. I think Miami and Penn State are actually a great comparison.
Yeah.
In terms of both of them have kind of found ways to win against teams that they probably should have won by more.
Yeah.
But they're both undefeated. So like, you know what I mean? Like they deserve their respect and
Yeah. Penn State this weekend against USC.
That was great. That was huge for them, I think, in my
I don't
opinion.
think USC should be unranked.
That's the thing.
Well,
USC is probably by far the best unranked team by like a
But
land
the thing
shot.
with them is they lost 2 in a row.
I know they lost 2 in a row, but
Now
like
3 in a row.
they were
But yes, I
they
agree.
were ranked number 11. Like I think they're a way better team than what their record says.
100%.
And Penn State, even though they snuck that win, like that was a hard win to take.
Penn State is the only Big Ten team outside of Indiana. Shout out Indiana, who
Are they still undefeated?
Who's still undefeated. FIU's still to right.
The
till
closest
today,
game, yeah.
The closest game. So shout out Indiana. They look amazing. Outside of Indiana, who traveled to UCLA and beat them, Penn State is the only other team that has traveled to West Coast or East Coast, vice versa, that's gotten a win. Every single one has lost. Every time USC has gone to the other side, they've lost. There are 2 games. Ohio State now went to Oregon. They lose.
Shit.
Everybody who's traveled between the West Coast, East Coast, and the Big Ten has lost.
Wow.
So I think it was a big win for them. I think it's one of those wins that can propel them to, find and build off confidence for that. For them, though, their biggest game, obviously, they play Ohio State in 2 weeks. So that's going to be an insane game. It's, I believe, at Penn State, which is good. But that's going to be a real deciding factor in terms of. Granted, I still think Penn State's very good and they should be in the playoffs, similar to Miami. But Miami actually, I mean, they play Louisville this week, but Louisville is kind of on a downward spiral.
Yeah, Louisville doesn't look very good this time around.
But the ACC is the weakest.
Hot garbage.
The weaker of the P4s, right?
Yep.
But they do have 2 top 10 teams. Clemson looks very, very good.
Clemson doesn't look
So
bad.
that Miami-Clemson game, if they both make it there to the ACC championship, will be an amazing game, and that will be, I don't. That's obviously too far in
It's
advance.
too far in advance. But it could be the determining factor of which ACC team makes it into the playoff.
If they're both undefeated, well, Clemson already has 1 loss, but if they're both, let's say Miami's undefeated and Clemson still has just 1 loss, they'll probably still both get in.
It's very dependent on what happens around the.
Yes, but you can't give a 1-loss Miami team who's 1 loss hypothetically.
Right, hypothetically would be to a top 10 team.
Top 16 at that point, they'll be up there. And then give a Bama team who lost to Georgia Tech or not
To
Georgia Tech,
Vandy,
to Vandy, and then Vandy looks great by the way, but still, and then almost lose this weekend to I don't know. You'd have to put Miami in the playoff for sure. Like if Miami runs the table, which it's going to be very hard. Not very hard to be honest. They're going to be favored in every game.
Yeah, they should run
but
the table.
The way that they play last 2 weeks, they need to.
You're not guaranteed anything. We're
because,
seeing it right now. You're
in
going to have a
college,
bad week, but
Yeah.
you can't have multiple bad weeks.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing.
So for now, I mean, this is a big week for Miami. This is a Louisville team who's kind of been struggling, but it's at Louisville. Louisville is a good team, and so this is probably one of their best teams, honestly, that they've played so far. So it could be a little. If Miami doesn't pick it up, I mean, it can be a stumbling block. But right now they're undefeated, and they
No,
if they
they have,
keep it up, they'll be in the playoffs.
control
I
your
just
destiny.
I don't know. Like you put Miami against Ohio State or Miami against Oregon, or I'm gonna take those other teams every single time. But
If they play the way they've played the last 2 weeks, they're not going to beat those teams. That's for sure.
We just have to play two halves of football. Like our second half in the last two games are like, like dude, like there's no way.
That's what I'm saying. You're not going to get away with playing that type of football against a very good
Your
team.
defense is gonna be your downfall.
I just think that
Unless they pick it up, but like right now, your offense, Cam Ward is amazing. Cam Ward's amazing. Restrepo is unreal, honestly. Like Restrepo is like insane. Your O line's good. Your running game does probably need to improve, but you guys have been down, so you've had to throw more anyway. So whatever. But your offense, I really truly don't think you should have anywhere. It's your defense is where you need to kind of
Man, we have our zone defense, and we can't run man in our defense. Zone win, zone everything, because like Cal, we're getting these over the top shots that was wide freaking open, where it's like I always said our secondary will be our.
Yeah, that was
another
the other
crazy game. But sorry, please go.
I would always say our secondary was always like my biggest like question mark, and like we've kind of been exposed a couple times.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to thank God we have a bye week now after those 2 games. Like let's settle down.
It's actually a good bye week for you guys for that. I think it's a perfect spot.
The Cal trip now, you rest up.
Yeah.
So, hopefully we got into the film room and we just kind of adjusted some stuff, especially on the defensive end. We're now there's a lot of guys that were hurt that are all coming back now. We're getting Jalen Rivers back. We're getting one of our top corners back.
Yeah.
So we're getting healthier. So, I mean, but I agree with you. Like, I feel like
big week this week.
State,
like they're very good. Like I think Miami is very, very good.
Oh, 100%.
I think they're good. Like I think they're good. They absolutely are a top 10 team.
But
they're in the B tier for me.
Yeah.
The A tier, I truly think right now.
There's 4 teams.
There's 3 teams.
Yeah.
Then the rest, the Penn State, Georgia's, Bama's, Miami's, I think are B tier. And I'm only talking about these are tiers just for ranking teams. That's the B tier. The C tier is where
like LSU.
I mean, I would still have to put.
Ole Miss,
Tennessee
maybe.
Yeah.
Who else? LSU, Ole Miss, Iowa State.
Tennessee's probably in the B list too.
BYU.
Terrible.
Notre Dame.
Yeah,
I mean, you
got
got
like C tier. Boise State. Oh, this kid's insane. He's nuts.
Michael Myers.
Yeah, he's crazy. Like he is nuts.
BYU is undefeated, by the way.
BYU is good. BYU is very good. They're Army,
yeah,
Navy, both
that's
ranked.
what I was about to say.
Army, Navy.
Give me
Navy,
some
both
Army
ranked.
every week, baby.
Yeah.
The Army Navy game might be one of the most watched games.
Yeah.
Like in that series.
Yeah. There's a lot of like good teams, and there was this slate that had like all these really good games.
Yeah.
Lived up to the hype, right? You had your Oregon Ohio State game be amazing. The Penn State USC game be amazing. The LSU Ole Miss game be amazing. And then to top them all off, the best game like of the entire week was the FIU Liberty game. I mean, so when you've got those 4 powerhouse
that game
games,
was actually fucking awesome.
That game was nuts, and we had them on the freaking ropes.
Yeah,
all right, we had them there. But and TUSA Tober, the best thing in the world. But in general, this weekend was awesome, and then there's 3 really big games this weekend.
Yep.
You've got Tennessee, Bama, Texas, Georgia, FIU, UTEP. So those are going to be the 3 biggest games of the week. I don't want to hear anything else. And I mean FIU. I'll touch on them real quick before we move on. I was super proud of the way we played. We could have won. We could have won that game.
I think we were 9.5-point dogs in that game, and we were in that game from the first snap.
9.5. 17.5.
We were 17.5?
Yeah.
I thought we were 9.5.
17.5.
Wow.
And so we could have snapped Liberty's streak.
Yeah.
They got the longest streak in college football. They've been very good. The best G5 program in the last 4 years. And then, we had them on the ropes. And I don't know where the defense went on Monmouth week.
I know.
But this defense is the best defense that we've had.
I know.
In a while.
I don't get it. But what the hell happened that week?
I don't know. But I think that the path for us to get to a bowl is there. It starts with beating UTEP, beating Middle Tennessee, and beating New Mexico State. And then you have to get one of the other 3, which is Jack State, Sam Houston, who both look good. And then you got to there's another one that's very winnable in my opinion.
For FIU.
For FIU. It's
I mean-
and also with Jack Sam Houston, I don't think either one of those is unbeatable. But
It's just,
Kennesaw State is the other one. So
it sucks because we've had a couple games that we could have won.
We should just
FAU
we
game
should just
still
need to get
haunts me
3.
in Monmouth.
No, Monmouth is the only FAU. Yes, it haunts me, but
It
at
haunts
least
me
it's
just because of
FAU.
the turnovers.
At least FAU fumbling on the 1 yard line and losing the game to
Yeah,
Monmouth. It will, especially if that's the one that costs us a bowl game, is going to possibly haunt me for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So FIU just needs a way to figure out how to get 4 wins of their next 6, and which I think is doable. But they need to actually like pull it off. Like all these close games, all these moral victories.
There's definitely winnable games coming up.
Yeah, like we need to
starting this weekend.
No, the line has jumped from we're 2.5 point favorites. We're 5.5 point favorites now. I don't know why, but I don't know what Vegas knows, but it scares me. I want us to move in the other direction.
I mean, UTEP is 0-6, so that should tell you something.
Yes, they are. But we're only 2-4. So
and their closest game was a 10-point loss to Colorado State.
All right, lock of the week. FIU minus 5.5.
Oh no, I'm lying. 3-point game to Southern Utah in OT.
Southern Utah. It's like Monmouth.
Yeah.
At least they won.
Well, by the way, speaking of Monmouth, really quick, if this makes you feel any better,
Monmouth is insane. Monmouth's a wagon. I actually think they should get the 12 seed in the playoff.
Bro, I mean, but you look at, they put up points, bro. 63 points, 35, 45, 51, 35, and 27.
Wow.
They put up points.
I know. No,
Heisman watch, that quarterback. Whoever that guy is.
I want him on the FINS. But, yeah. That's how you talk.
But yeah, no,
big win this week,
definitely winnable games this weekend is you got to win this weekend.
100%. If you want to get to a bowl game, you got to win this week.
Yeah. So all right. You got any? You want to go into picks?
Yeah, let's do it. Picks are pretty solid.
I went.
Andre continues to tear. If you want to follow anybody, follow Andre. I mean, Andre is on an unprecedented run.
I'm on a good run.
I've never seen in my entire life.
It is pretty solid, and I'm going ballsy this week. So,
all right, hold up. I gotta get these ready to write down. All right, so you want to start with NFL or college?
College. Let's start with college. Let me pull it up real quick here.
Andre.
All right, let's see.
Dun, dun, dun,
All right.
Dun, dun, dun.
So first pick of the week, we are going to pick BYU to cover -9 against Oklahoma State.
-9.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Army, who has been on an unbelievable run, is just a betting machine right now. They're covering the 17-point spread on East Carolina.
They're -17?
Yep.
Okay.
Covering that against East Carolina. Then we're going to also pick the other military team in Navy to cover their 17-point spread against Charlotte.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right.
5-0, both undefeated teams. They are playing good football.
Wow.
I really like them.
Wow.
And then I got 2 more college picks. We got Michigan, who's playing Illinois on the road.
Okay.
They're 1-point favorites. I think they cover the 1 point.
Okay. Nice
So
I'll just give you money line.
Yeah. So money line on Michigan. They are favorites. They are. Yeah. But I think they're going to win by, at least 3 points. Okay. And then my last pick, which is a little bit of a dog.
You're going 5 slate. I love it.
And then I got a dog pick of the week. We got Notre Dame at Georgia Tech.
Okay.
GT is going to pull off an upset against Notre Dame this weekend. It's at home. I think Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech money line?
Georgia Tech money line.
Oh my God.
Georgia Tech money line.
Oh my God. If that hits, just end the show. It's going to be an Andre betting show from here on out because holy cow.
Georgia Tech money line on the road. Notre Dame obviously seems to be finding their groove again. Yeah. But I think Georgia Tech is still playing good enough. Notre Dame. They're still playing good enough football, in my opinion, and it's at home for Georgia Tech. I think the fans will show out. And, I think it's a little bit of a sleeper pick this week.
All right.
You want to go college too, and then I'll do NFL, or how do you want to do it?
Well, Pooch, you got your picks ready or no?
I got my picks.
All right, let's go, Pooch, and I'll do my college ones.
So I'm gonna tail Army -17.
All right, Army -17.
Army.
Okay.
I like the Georgia Tech, but I'm just gonna take him to cover the +9.
+9. Okay.
I'm gonna take him to cover. I'm not gonna.
He's not going all in.
Yeah.
A game that I like, another horse that I liked all year is South Carolina. South Carolina's played really good, and I think Oklahoma's coming off a bad week, so I'm gonna take South Carolina money line against Oklahoma.
Money line.
What? You think Oklahoma's gonna lose 2 weeks in a row?
All right, Pooch, I like that.
Damn. I think South Carolina has given every single ranked team a battle, and they've been like a play away from winning those games. So I like them. Then after, well, actually, Georgia Tech line just moved to 10.5 right now.
Yeah, it's 10.5.
So I'll
All
take
right,
Georgia Tech. Their spread.
even better, 10.5. All right.
I'll give it to him at 9.
And then I'm gonna take Virginia to cover against Clemson.
What's the line?
22.
Virginia plus 22. All right.
Virginia or Virginia Tech?
Virginia.
Virginia.
Virginia Tech plays BC.
I'm gonna take Virginia to
that's
cover,
a good
and
game.
then give me Miami -4.
Miami -4. All right.
It's a good pick.
All right. Then I will go. My first, I'm not going to take FIU on here just because by the time we drop it, the game already happened.
Yeah.
So
True.
if you rewind this, I'm on FIU. I just want that to be known, but I will not list it here.
Fair.
Because we play on Wednesday. So, all right. I'm going with Tennessee moneyline dog against Bama at home. I think both teams have looked so bad. Like, I think both of those teams are very good, but they've both looked so bad last 2 weeks that I don't know. I'm gonna take Tennessee on it. I've got a future on Tennessee. I love that Nico kid. I think their defense is legit. Bama scares the hell out of me betting against Bama, but I'm gonna go ride with Tennessee at home. I am going to also tail El Cubano. I'm going BC plus 7 against Virginia Tech this week.
They're 7-point dogs.
7-point dogs on the road.
I like that pick a lot.
So I am going with them.
Money line or the cover?
I'm going cover. I'm going plus 7. And then where's the other game I have? I am going the over in the Texas-Georgia game. I'm going over 56.5. Biggish number. But I'm taking it. I think that's going to be a shootout. I think that's going to come down to the wire. So I'm just going to be rooting for points. My heart tells me Texas because I do truly think Texas is the best team.
They just look so good.
And it's at home. But it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Georgia's still Georgia, and
Georgia needs a statement win too.
They're going to be hunting. Mm-hmm. So give me them. I'm then going to go with. I had one more here. Where's my last pick? Anyway, I just want to find one more. Because I was just gonna do 3, but you guys want 5.
Yeah, I went crazy today. I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm gonna go another over. I'm gonna take the over in the Indiana-Nebraska game. Over 50. So over 50, Indiana, Nebraska. I think that could be a really good game. So, those are college picks.
I like it. All right. Let me get into NFL real quick.
NFL, Dre.
So we are going to start off with a Lions-Vikings game where the Vikings are 2-point favorites at home. Mm-hmm. I think the Lions are fucking beast.
I think so too.
They're going to go and they're going to beat Minnesota. Minnesota's due. Obviously, I think Minnesota's playing great ball, and that defense is going to be great. I also think that's going to be a phenomenal game.
I don't know how they're underdogs.
But Vikings are good, bro. Vikings are good.
The
Vikings are good. And it's Vikings at home.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a great game, and Flores has that defense ready to play anybody. So they'll be ready to play, but I think the Vikings get their first loss at home, and it's against the Lions. So we got Lions money line. We got Commanders and Panthers. So I got the Commanders covering the 7.5 against the Panthers.
Okay, so commies minus 7.5.
Yep.
Okay.
And then let's see. We got the Ravens-Bucks Monday night.
Ravens-Bucks Monday night. Oh, that's a great game.
Bucks money line. They're 3.5-point dogs.
Bucks money line. All right.
At home.
Is that your dog of the week, or
no?
Do you want? Okay.
My dog of the week is the Miami Dolphins.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. Pooch, you got yours or?
Yeah, I got mine.
All right.
First bet, the under in the Bengals-Browns game. I don't think those guys.
Yeah, they both suck. What's the number?
43.5.
Under 43 Browns, Bengals. Okay.
Yeah. My next pick, Lions money line. Me and Andre love the Titans game. We both committed to being Lions fans.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tail.
I'm on the Lions bandwagon.
I like Houston money line against the Packers also.
It's gonna be a hell of a game, I think.
That's a great game too.
And then I'll put one more. I mean, this is like a bold one, but I just wanted to lose. I'm gonna take my dog of the week, the Titans.
Oh my God.
Oh wow.
I love that.
I feel you.
I love that. I love that.
I feel that.
All right, I'm gonna make it 3 for 3. I'm also on Lions money line.
Let's go.
I think that it's tough because the Vikings are coming off a bye week. The Vikings have looked good. I think the Vikings are legit a really good team. I think the NFC North is the best division in football.
Oh yeah.
But I like the Lions. They're rolling right now. I think they're gonna even, as much as the loss of Hutchinson hurts, I think they're gonna rally around it. And I don't know. I think the Lions are gonna hand the Vikings their first loss.
I will say this: if the Vikings win that game, they're the best team in the NFL.
The Vikings are very legit, by the way. The Vikings are a top 5 NFL team. Even if they lose that game, because I think
even if they lose that game,
team.
obviously.
Yeah.
But if they win that game,
no, but I think even if they lose the game, they're still top 5 team.
Oh, they're still top. No, 100%. But I'm saying if they win, they're the best team in the NFL right now. I don't know who's going to beat them then.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to take the over 47.5 in that Texans Packers game. I think that game's going to be electric. So I'm going for that. Then I am going to go. Wow, this is a tough one for me because I really want to. This one's going to be ugly and it's going to backfire. Give me the Niners money line versus the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, I was looking at that game. I'm like,
Give me the Niners money line versus the Chiefs. It's at home.
They're favored. They're 1.5 point favorites. I mean, it's basically a pick'em game at home.
The pick'em game. The Chiefs are the Chiefs. The Chiefs coming off a bye week. You never bet against the Chiefs coming off a bye week. You honestly never really bet against the Chiefs ever. So I'm gonna yuck it up, and I'm going Niners money line and revenge spot. Niners got a big win this week. You got to build off that, and the Chiefs. They got to still. They're banged up in terms of their offensive weapons. Kelsey's picking it up now, but who knows? Give me the Niners money line there. And give me another over. I'm taking the over 48.5. Ravens Bucks game.
Oh hell yeah!
I'm gonna take that over.
I'm excited for that game.
And then dog of the week. There was no other option. It's Dolphins money line. Let's go. I think that's a great slate.
It is. It's a jam-packed slate of picks.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a crazy weekend this weekend.
We are.
And
we are.
Let's see if we combine 10 hits this weekend. We got to celebrate at some capacity.
Yeah, if we combine 10 hits, I don't even know what we do. If we combine 10 hits by when we're hosting this thing at Bodega this weekend, things are gonna get wild. Let's just say that. things are gonna be shotgun chugged. If we hit 10 before Sunday.
Oh my God! If we hit 10 before Sunday,
we'd have to clean the slates on college football. We'd have to essentially go.
I mean, I had 5 picks. I think you had 4. You had 5. We would have to go combine 10 and 5 basically.
By Saturday,
we could have it. If we go 10 and 5 on the Saturday slate alone, that would be insane.
Holy cow, we're getting awesome, boy.
I'm ready for that. No one touched the Thursday game. It's the Saints Broncos.
Oh my God! Well,
let's get a little bite in before we wrap it up here. Oh yeah. All right.
That's fire. Yeah.
Wrap it up.
That was an insane wrap. Yeah. Wrap it up. We will see you all this Sunday at Bodega. Come by 1 p.m. Dolphins Colts. It's gonna be an awesome time. That guac is legit. The margaritas are legit
on Sunday.
Yeah.
And the margs too.
And the margs. But seriously, come by. It's gonna be a blast. Hope to see you all there. Awesome episode. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, and
see you Sunday.
Fins up. This is fire.
So fucking good.